I'm Kathleen.
And I'm Carrie.
And welcome back to Taylor Time. Today we'll be focusing on Taylor's song Tolerate It from her album Evermore.
Evermore came out December 11th in 2020, so 5 months after lockdown, and it's an indie pop album with some influences from rock and R&B. And just like Folklore, it kind of focuses on fake songs that are based off of fiction, but this album has more personal touches, like Marjorie off of Evermore, which is focused on her grandmother.
Isolated by lockdown, Taylor let her mind run wild and felt that because she couldn't perform live, she would have to throw out as many songs to the public as she possibly could. Kind of like how we talked about in our last episode of Folklore. In one of the songs, she wrote, "I wake and watch you breathing with your eyes closed. I sit and watch you, and I notice everything you do or don't do." Taylor's referencing here how he isn't showing, the guy that she's interested in is not showing her the same attention that she shows him. There's kind of this major disconnection between them, and she doesn't know how to fix it. And I feel like that's relatable to people of our generation, just because with social media nowadays and all these different ways of getting into relationships, it's just really hard to know when someone's interested or when they're being a little more on the fake side.
One of the really cool things about this song is that Taylor kind of has a switch in perspective. It's mainly from her perspective, but in this line, "Always taking up too much space or time, you assume I'm fine," she's almost speaking for, the man in this relationship. And she's saying that, speaking from his perspective, that he doesn't respect her. He kind of sees her as an inconvenience, taking up too much space, too much time. And he doesn't really care what she's facing and only assumes that she's fine because she's being quiet.
Personally, my favorite lyric from Tolerate It is, "I made you my temple, my mural, my sky. Now I'm begging for footnotes in the story of your life." So, footnotes in the story of your life is a metaphor for kind of how Taylor's telling all of her viewers that this man was her everything. It was all she focused on, it was all she went after, and the only good thing that she had. And now that he's gone, she feels this sort of need to really run after him and that one good thing that she had before it's away and before it goes away and she does nothing else left. And I think that's really just personally my favorite, because it shows that you don't really appreciate what you have until it's gone, and it's really hard to focus on something when you don't know that it's the best thing in your life until it's not anymore.
My favorite lyric from Tolerate is, "Gain the weight of you, then lose it. Believe me, I could do it." So the first half of that is just basically saying, that they get together, they gain the weight, and then she loses it, they break up. But then "Believe me, I could do it" is kind of Taylor, almost taunting, the guy in this relationship, saying that, maybe he doesn't believe that she could live without him, but she's saying that she absolutely could. And so I feel like that just resonates with a lot of females in society who are, continuously seeing that they have to rely on a man or someone else in the relationship, whereas, we can move on fine and be okay. It might hurt for a while, but you'll be fine in the long run.
Taylor won multiple awards for this album. In 2021, she won the American Music Award for Favorite Pop Album, and she won the ARIA Music Award for Best International Artist in 2021 as well.
Evermore is a term for always, but this album is actually reflective of her growth and change, but also what stays the same as she's shaped in her career and herself and her life in general.
Now that it's come to the time of ratings, I'm gonna rate the song itself, Tolerate It, a 9 out of 10. I actually really like the song, I really resonate with the song, and I think it's just a really awesome thing that Taylor released for especially teenage girls during the time of the pandemic. I think Evermore in itself is more so a 6 out of 10. I'm not slow and unless I'm in the mood for it, depressing music isn't my kind of style. So just overall, I'd say probably a 7.5.
Overall, I give the song Tolerate It a 7 out of 10. I think the production of it's kind of weird. Sometimes the beat doesn't really match up to what Taylor's saying and when she says it, so it's just weird for ears. But otherwise, I just don't resonate with the song too much, and so I don't really have anything to connect to in the song. But overall, with Evermore, I agree with Kathleen. I give it about a 6 out of 10. Same reasons. I am more of a fan of upbeat, positive pop songs than downbeat, but there's definitely a time and a place for Evermore and other songs that are of that slow nature.
All right, guys, thank you for tuning in on this episode of Taylor Time.
We'll see you next time.
Stay Swifty!